Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah,
Okay, so guys, welcome back to the show, and thank you for training us from Instagram to Facebook Live to StreamYard and then back to Zoom. This story is very important to me, and I can imagine that a lot of the things we're going to talk about today will be encouraging to anybody out there. So the hope really is to build support for families, especially for parents who have kids that might either be specially abled or just parenting tips in general that can be useful. So I met Mr. Kenny 2 years ago through my podcast. He shared a story about his daughter Olivia. Olivia is specially abled. She has what you call the deletion syndrome, and so we in that episode we just talked about just the challenges, the triumphs, and being in the UK, what has helped them a lot to help their daughter, just be as well adjusted as they can. So join me in welcoming Mr. Kenny and his lovely wife Tutu to the podcast.
hello. And thanks for the perseverance from jumping from one platform to the other.
I should tell you guys thank you for sticking with me because I can imagine how busy you are with two kids. So let's just start from the beginning. Like I think we haven't talked earlier on. Is can you tell us a little bit about Olivia's condition and just what that has been like?
Okay. So yeah, for those who have not listened to the previous episode, so Olivia was born with a rare genetic condition called 1p36 chromosomal deletion. It's a condition that has a wide spectrum to some of the medical conditions people that that syndrome faces, global developmental delays, epilepsy, um, low muscle tone, just a wide range of problems that they have. But we thank God for Lydia. She's come up in leaps and bounds. Since the last time we spoke in 2018, this is like a long time ago. She's really made remarkable progress. Um, as at the last time we spoke, she was being weaned from having anti-epileptic medications to a ketogenic diet. So the ketogenic diet was also to help with seizures because at the time she was having multiple seizures a day,
Hmm.
which managed with the anti-epileptic drugs. We transitioned into a ketogenic diet because it was a trial happening in the UK where the medical practitioner just wanted to trial if going on that diet to help suppress the seizures. So she went on the diet for about a year, and thank God the seizures stopped. And also, we've even gone further in terms of winning her from the ketogenic diet because the ketogenic diet is high fat
Yeah.
diet.
No, high protein, high fat, low carb.
Yeah, so we've been able to win her of the ketogenic diet to the point where she can pretty much eat
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Uh, She's also started school as well. So she started school. She has an educational plan, a special educational plan. Yeah, they call it the EHCP. So she has an EHCP where different professionals meet with her at school to just teach her and give her that extra support she needs. Um, and yeah, we just thank God. It's just been a remarkable 2 years since we spoke, and we are just really grateful.
Wow, like so I mean I remember doing that episode with you, and of course I learned a great deal from you, and I listened to it again, and I just imagine that in 2 years a lot has changed. So I want to give kudos to you and your wife for just persevering. I can't even imagine the challenges it takes to be able to overcome a lot of the hurdles. But then I'm sure you've been paid back by the smiles and the gains she's made and all of that. So for those that don't really know a lot about this disease condition is so there are 22 pairs of autosomal chromosomes in a human body, and there's a last pair that has the X and Y that determines the sex of the child. And for the 1p36, which is also known as deletion syndrome, at the cellular level, because cells from tissues, which form organs, which then form systems. At the cellular level, there's a deletion of the first chromosome, and the strand on it, that's the 36th strand, and that strand is that 36 location, that tiny, like if you think about on a granular level, is responsible for so many things. So for this condition, like you said, loss of muscle tone, probably gonna need a lot of help in development and all of that kind of stuff. And I remember one thing you guys shared during the episode is, when you guys joined that support group, the deletion syndrome in the UK, and you found out that Olivia was the youngest person in their cohort, but then they were even amazed at the amount of progress she's made. Can you talk a little bit about that? And 2 years later, how's that still been like? Is she still the youngest in the cohort?
No. So we've had younger babies join us now. I think George is the youngest child that is there at the moment in the UK that we are aware of as part of our group.
Yeah.
And there might be more children that are younger, but they haven't joined us yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're supposed to have our meetup in August, so because of
COVID. That's a huge clause for 2020 because of everybody can just say, BC before COVID.
Because we have like an annual conference, and that was supposed to happen in August, and we're all looking forward to seeing each other there, and had everything all booked, and then COVID happened, so we haven't had a chance to meet the new people that have just joined the group.
Yeah.
But we have a virtual group. We have a Facebook where we all meet up and have a chit chat.
Yeah.
So, well, next year we'll try again. Next year
we'll try everybody. Try it again. Let's just cancel 2020. No, not just kidding. But
yeah.
I'm so big on community. I mean, my podcast is a form of community because I tell people that I refuse to do life alone because I found out that, so as a Christian, I'm going to go a little bit philosophical. The devil wants you to thrive in your isolation and all your problems seem so magnified. So I just imagine if we don't have this community of people, like, because you talked about your nuclear family, like your sister, the physiotherapist, who sends you a lot of stuff to read about and encourage you. Can you just speak to the importance of community? Because I can imagine that with having a child with special needs, it can make you just want to lock up and not, be out there in the world because you feel like I want to imagine there's an aspect of you just feeling guilty, like, even though you haven't done anything to cause it, but people tend to just want to stay by themselves. What's the danger in that, and how would you say community has really helped you?
I think community is everything at this stage because having a community of people who, like, we have met and we take full advantage of, of that association that we have with them. It's everything. We're able to discuss like issues that are related to our children. Whereas, I have friends and I have, family that have younger children, but there's some things that they can't really relate to. So for example, Olivia has a feeding tube. Okay, I can speak to my friends about it, but they don't really know. They don't really have an idea of
what yeah.
So it's really nice to have people who have kind of similar experiences. It kind of normalizes your situation in a kind of weird kind of way because you think, well, there's this person, there's that person as well. So I think if you're in any situation, and I'm not trying to be preachy here, but I can't help it sometimes. Try and find other people that are in a similar kind of situation to you. Not to say that you don't have your usual normal associations. That's also important. But people that have similar experiences, they will make you feel human, and you think that okay, it's fine. It's funny you asked that question because about 2 days ago, another lady who has another family they have 2 special needs children, but one of them is about to get a feeding tube, and I'm in a different group of Facebook, and she kind of mentioned it there, and she was really scared about it, and I was able to reach out to her to say, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let me know when you're at the hospital. I'll talk you through it. It's fine. And just because, and she kept coming back to me with lots and lots of questions. And I just thought, wow, that's amazing that I was able to kind of talk her through things and just say to her, just if that's what she needs, get it, don't put it off. And I was able to share our own story to say when we were told that Olivia would need a feeding tube, we were like, no, we don't want her to have that because it's so medical. And I don't know anybody else. I don't know any other child that has it. And we kind of put off the decision for a while, but because we eventually went for it, and now when we see people that are in that position, we're able to say to them, oh, that's what your child needs. That's okay. We've done it. We're there. So that community is really important. of people with kind of similar experiences. Yeah.
And from my own point of view, for the kind of person I am, where I always want to try and look for solutions to things, you want to solve things.
Yeah.
But having a community allows you to know that there's some things that are out of your control, and people have been through similar situations. So you're not running mad. There are people that have gone through this. They've seen results. So just leverage off their experience as opposed to trying to reinvent the wheel, as it were.
Exactly. And I think you guys are. You're so hands-on, and you seem like you're even acing all of the things you're supposed to do as parents. But you cannot just be enough. An African adage would say it takes a village to raise a child. How much more when there's so many things that we don't really know about this condition, and you just want to make sure that I think the normalization of the process that's very, very important. So for those that are listening, we understand whatever you might be going through. If you feel shameful about it, like whatever it is, just find your tribe. Like I always say, on a very silly level, will be I love people. I love people of all colors and all races. But sometimes I get tired of my Nigerian people here in the US. And I just I just find myself maybe hanging out with non-Nigerians for a while because the cultural expectation is almost non-existent. I know with the Nigerian person, there's a way I have to like talk or carry myself, and that can be stressful sometimes. So find your people, but know that, you don't have to just always align yourself to those people. But make sure you're supported. You have the community you need. Ask questions. Be vulnerable as well. Because if people don't know what you're going through, they're not going to be able to help you. I'm sure you guys have had to share a lot of stuff that I'm sure you probably won't put on your normal Facebook page. But within your group, within your community, you've been very vulnerable. And with that comes healing. With that comes growth.
Yeah, we have been, and we don't feel like we have to hold back. And they're not going to say to you, "Oh, it's fine. It's not your portion in Jesus' name," or they're not going to say something like, "It is well." Yeah, I know it is well.
It is well. Yeah, our platitudes. Oh, we're so good at that. It is well. Yeah, did you guys pray about it? Have you prayed about it? Did you have enough faith?
Yeah, every day. I do every day.
And that takes it back to what Mr. Kenny said. You shared this quote, and I'm trying to paraphrase here. That was in your time on the episode. You said something about there's some doctrine in the Christendom, like Christian faith, where if you believe that you can actually make your own destiny to happen by force, by fire, by force, and if something is not going your way, you can pray it by force, you can proclaim it out of your life. And while that might work for some people, it might not work for other people. And I think that we're seeing disability as a bad thing. Like if you have a child with special needs, that's from the devil, it can't be from God. But we're not thinking, I feel like we need to rethink what disability really is. We're all differently able, fine, there are challenges with that, but that child that is born that way has a purpose. And until you align yourself to, or maybe asking God, how can I guide this child to be the best person in life? And regardless of what kind of ability your child has, you need to start praying that prayer for your kids, because you are being their parents. That's a role given to you by God. But you can sometimes do things that can, be in what's the word, discordance with what God wants for their life. So I just wanted to say a little bit about our doctrines as Christians. We need to be very, very careful, because our words sometimes can be very hurting.
Yes, I'm going to share two things I'm going to share with you. The first one was something similar to what you said. Yeah. I spoke to them. So there was an older person, a woman, and in the initial stages, when we're still trying to figure things out, we didn't even know whether we're coming or going. And but one thing we've always done is to take Olivia out. Once we got over the initial shock, we just kind of rolled with it. Like we stayed at a kids' party. And in those days, we were going for ourselves, not for her. And she saw me and she said, "Oh, I need to speak to you." And I said, "Okay, all right." And she then said, "Oh, are you a Christian? You need to be really praying for this child." I said, "Yeah, I do every day." And then she said, because the Bible says that whatever you allow on earth is what we allow in heaven, or something like that. And if you pray about this, if you hadn't allowed this, it wouldn't have happened. I didn't even know whether to cry or to laugh or to
slap her face.
Yeah, but I know that lady. But I just thought about it, and I just thought, I've come to terms with it now, and I just think, okay, she means well, right? She felt like,
really?
Like maybe she fixed the situation by saying something. It was obviously the wrong thing to say. So sometimes people say things because they really want to help, but then sometimes I don't think we have that. We don't. This is going to sound terrible, but we don't have emotional literacy, should I say?
Or intelligence, or the wherewithal, yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes it just comes out all wrong. But, on the issue of balancing our Christian faith with things,
Yeah.
I was going to share is that, when Olivia wanted to start school, because she's moving from early years now, she's moved to primary school, and I was praying because I'm like, God, things is about to start happening, She's going to start, proper primary school in September. You have to give me a word, tell me something, about the situation. How is she going to do when she gets there? Because I don't know. How can I support her? And it was almost as if I could have been speaking to a brick. And I just thought, okay, fine. I just kept repeating the prayer. And there was one day after I was finished praying, it was like a word came to my heart, and it was, let the little children come unto me. For theirs is the kingdom. Let them come unto me. And I said, and it was also as if God was saying to me that let Olivia come to me. I said, is that when the Bible says let the children, it didn't say let the
but that brings it out, yeah.
It didn't say what is the right word? Children. Said, did you realize that when that is in the Bible that I was calling Olivia as well? So I wasn't just Peter, who is our son and is very spicy boy.
It's cute, by the way. I want to pinch his cheeks.
Yeah, let the children come to me. Say I was calling Olivia as well. So she's my child, and I'm calling her to me as well. So just do what you need to do from your end. And having that word from God for me was like the best thing ever. And I mean, obviously, I've seen that Bible passage before, but you kind of had a different revelation.
Yeah, unless at that particular moment, it spoke to your situation. And so it gave you like a different meaning, because that was the word you were looking for.
Yeah, and I kind of ran to Kenny like, oh my God. And
so simple though, let the children come to me. You usually just gloss over it. For theirs is, and then I've not even focused on that word, but it just shows you the power of God.
Do not hold them back, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Yes.
She was Kenny, it was even during the day. It was like I had a moment. I rushed into, to Kenny where he was working. I was like, "Can you believe this?" And I just like, okay. And of course, I had a good cry about that. And I'm sure you did as well. As soon as I left, tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
It's just like, yes, we are Christians. Oh, it's not my portion. Whatever way we want to qualify, but. There are people as well, people that are less able than us. There are people as well. They have their own needs, and God hasn't made any mistake in creating them, and He's not surprised. So we might not have been expecting any of that, but God is not surprised about them. Yeah,
I believe that strong-heartedly. And on a research level, there was something about disabilities that I heard quite recently that kind of blew my mind. Because when we think about people that are, differently abled, we always think about one physical or functional limitations, right? But let's say, for example, if I put you in a room with Chinese people and told you to talk to them, at that moment, you are classified as being, disabled because you're not able to communicate with them. Or if you have like a little bit of hearing loss and you're at a concert where they're playing loud music and someone calls you on your phone, you're not gonna, at that moment, you're incapacitated to listen to it. And even though people might look this way, there's so many things we're still not able to do internally. And I feel like when we start rethinking that everybody has a purpose, regardless of what we have, because I feel like as human beings, we never have it all complete. There's always something that we're aching, and that's why we need a savior. And we all turn towards the saving grace of Jesus. For me as a Christian, and that's what I believe in. And so I feel like once we start rethinking what disability means, it's just gonna be a lot better. Mr. Ken, I had this question for you. So you're one of the quotes. I've been quoting you a lot because you always drop some bombs like as if you're in the Sahara Desert. Is that we have our faith, we'll do what we want to do. We're gonna work with the doctors. We're gonna work with Olivia. I think it comes down to the level of faith. So can you just speak to those that always feel like it has to be one way or the other? Like you can't like mix Christianity and medicine. It has to be one way or the other. Like what has that been like for you, and how can you encourage those that are sitting on the fence or just go to the extreme side?
I think for me, it's just coming to that revelation early on in the process, and I think I've been better off for it. Just coming to that revelation that just be free, just be open to different ideas. But like Tutu said, we're Christians and we're really strong in our faith. We trust God, but also it's about reaching out to people. So within the group, once we notice anything that we're seeing with Olivia, we just share it in the group. Oh, this is what Olivia is doing. Has anybody also experienced this kind of thing? And then we get little nuggets of information. Because like you said with the condition, there's a wide spectrum, and every day there's new research and new information that's coming out about it. So it's just about that flexibility, being flexible, just being open. It doesn't dampen your faith. It doesn't weaken your faith to seek other ways or seek help from other people. So I think just coming to that realization and just being open to other options, I think it really helps. It helps for your mental well-being as well, because you know, when a situation where you're just focusing on something and you're not getting the right results, it can affect your mental well-being, but yeah, also physically it can drain you. But just being that flexible, it just helps you to just open yourself up for to just be better. It makes it better.
People don't even understand that it takes a higher level of faith to be able to pray at the same time and then rely on the doctors, because you're having faith that God is going to send the right, medical team your way to be able to help your conditions. So that's another, thing I want to add there. And I know the last time we talked on the show, Mr. Ken, you talked about, building support for fathers. So you said, we know as Africans or even otherwise, those are on the show, the stereotypical image of a father is someone that brings home the bacon, strong, stalwart, unmoving, unemotional, just, like that. But with your case, you're all of that and more. And you talked about just the vulnerability as well, especially, with your relationship with your wife and also raising kids. What kind of support would you like to just throw out there, right, for breaking down those stereotypes you have about fathers? And how has that really been helping you in raising, Olivia and Peter, and also in your relationship with your wife?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's about that openness. So the group has been really helpful, with other fathers within the group, where unfortunately there are not a lot of fathers that are active in the group, which is unfortunate. And I hope in the future more men are able to accept this condition, because I know for men it's easy for them to just up and leave and just leave it to the women to do. I'm hoping in the future more men are able to just embrace this thing, because when two people work together in synergy, it makes it easier. Like the Bible says, if two of you agree on something,
Yeah.
One will chase 10,000, two times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean about like when two people combine. So yeah, the support within the group, support as a couple, as a family, and then also just like I said, being active in Olivia's care. So from things like as many doctor's appointments as I can go, I try to go there just to have that balancing view where myself, Tutu, and the doctor can just deliberate on the next level of care she gets. Also with school, when they were onboarding her to a new school, just getting involved, seeing how the school looks like, engaging with the teacher just to see what level of care she'll be getting. So that way, there are multiple inputs as opposed to if it's just one person carrying that burden upon themselves. But ultimately, it's just to face it head on and say, okay, this is the situation we find ourselves, and let's just go on with it.
Make the best of it.
I think there's something that can be said for society as well, because and I can speak for, excuse me, of our experience, where there's an assumption that the mothers do everything, and to a large extent we do, but I think as a society things need to change. So from our experience, for some reason people just want to come and speak to me, and sometimes I'm like, I don't even have the time to do it now. Go speak to Kenny. And maybe as women, we want to do everything. Obviously, I had to unlearn this as well, where I don't try to do everything. And if I go for an appointment or I go to school or I do something, I make sure that he knows what's happening in that case, so that if anything should happen and tomorrow I can't make the next one, he can just pick up from where I stopped. But we should not always assume that it's down to mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So also we need to bring the dads in. I think some of the barriers for fathers from our experience is that they feel like they don't belong in that space of childcare because everything seems to be geared towards, the mom. I still, even in our church, we're in church now, and we found a really good church that have a special needs ministry that actually
hold on to that church. Sounds like a keeper.
If anybody wants to look online or attend, they have, Olivia has like one-to-one in church. Care with the storytelling, and even now in the pandemic, there is the online special needs church as well for her. And in the WhatsApp group, I still see them sending messages and saying things like, "Hello, moms, this is ABC," and I'm there like.
And it's not a group for just women, right? It's moms and dads.
Well, and I'm there.
Sorry, we'll change. We're trying. We'll do better.
Kenny's not the only dads there. I've seen other dads there. For some reason, even when they want to arrange meetings or they want to ask us something, they ring me or they send me a message, and I'm thinking it's just. So I think it's something that we need to think about, the role of father. Yes, it's easier sometimes for men to just up and leave or not really engage with that process, but also we have to involve them as well.
I agree.
An outsider, basically.
I agree with that. I think there's a seductive part of being able to do things as women, and I've had to call myself out of it. Like, I tell myself, you need to stop being too much of an efficient wife. Start being more lazy, because my husband is, as you know, he's quite capable of things, but I won't lie to you that sometimes I feel like, I can do it all. It's just seductive. You feel like, you want to do everything. You don't involve your husband. So yeah, I think women, we need to also be called to order on that. And then we get to a point where you're so tired and you start getting all this aggressive towards your spouse because you think they can read your mind, but you haven't been carrying them along, and then bam, all of a sudden you want them to be exactly like you've been doing Superman all these years. All of a sudden you want to tag team tag.
I hear you on that, because that was me as well, and I think sometimes I still do it. But these days, I'm just deliberately being lazy,
That's it. And I tell myself, be patient about the time, because now he might not get it done when I want it done. But then, so what I would do is I'll quickly go and do it just to send the point. But then I was now stressed out, and I'll be getting angry, like double the anger, and it's like it doesn't make sense. So I was like, no, time is not going to be I'm not going to put time as a factor. Whenever he's going to get it done, let him get it done. We're going to keep staying at that same problem. So what kind of when is like at the heat of this, you can't do it yourself,
It's interesting, because now I see that because I'm not trying to do everything, Kenny is also doing a lot more. Because now it feels like he has the opportunity to do it, and then I try to not criticize how he's doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, why have you done
exactly.
I know I see this sometimes.
Oh my God, so complicated. That is so like us. And then it's like, do you want me to? I don't have to do it your way, but you want it to be done your way. And when you want it done, it's like you can't have it one. We can't have it always. You can't have it all the way. Yeah.
Yes, I try to say, why are you doing the tube that way? Why is she wearing that? Why is she doing this? So now I just think, what? I wouldn't put those clothes on her, but she's not naked. Yeah, that would do.
Exactly, and then keep quiet and move on. And I think for men sometimes they get really scared, like I'm not doing the right way, and then they kind of start dropping the ball. But anyways, all my friends that Mr. Kenny, we do appreciate men like you and dads like you. Thank you so much. So for those that are listening, this is, even though it seems like we're having this conversation, I want you to be a part of it. So if you want to ask questions, please go ahead and raise your hand, or you can type your questions in the comment section, and I promise I'm going to get to them. I have a lot of questions for them, but you are here, so I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions as well. You can either raise your hand, and in that time you can pop on your camera and ask a question, or you can go ahead and type it. So now the question I have for you guys, the next question I have for you guys is this. I learned something recently, and this is going to be talking about having Olivia and then Peter. Yeah, there's a baby in the background, just going here. And so I'm going to read something that I'm going to share a little bit of it and then ask you your thoughts on it. So the concept is about parenting, and is when you have more than one child. And there was something he said, and his name is Gabor Mate. He's a trauma psychologist, he's world renowned. He said no two children have the same parents or the same environment. Now, even though they have the same mother and father, so I think about my siblings, I have two brothers. Even though we have the same mom and dad and are still together, the way he said it was like both of us three of us, we didn't grow up with the same parents, because the way your parents, your mom and dad will be with you, it's not about favoritism. It's just about sometimes inborn temperament. So a child can be different, and you have to deal with them differently. And when I say deal, it could be maybe they need more love, they need more attention, or they need more discipline. So he goes that it's not even also the physicality of the parents, but it also can be the emotional states who define that defines who the child experiences as a parent. So you can love your child or children as equally as you love another child, but if you're stressed during a pregnancy, or you're not, or you're stressed during one pregnancy, you're not stressed during another pregnancy, or things like that, the children don't have the same parents. And then he goes like, economic changes can happen, like situations can happen, or maybe parental relationships can be altered. And the final example he gave was a woman with 8 children can treat all of her children equally, but temperamentally they might experience her differently. In that way, those 8 children will end up having 8 different mothers. So now you have Olivia, now you have Peter. Sorry, let me drop her down, please. A little bit. You have Olivia, then you have Peter. How's it been like, sorry, hold on. There's a baby here.
That's all right.
You want me to hold you and then you want me to drop you down? You gotta choose one, baby. And okay. And is that you have Peter, you have Olivia, right? And so the sentence I just made right now is just about, parenting style can be different. And it's not about you not loving them the same way. Now that I've said that, what thoughts come to your mind? Have you even given that a thought as far as your parenting style? And what are some of the modifications or things you're doing or learning and unlearning to be able to adjust for just the needs your 2 kids have that might be similar or different? I don't know if that question makes sense. I feel like I just lumped a lot together.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just a new level of parenting. So with Olivia, because of her condition, she was like the perfect baby, slept through the night. It was just like, in terms of like her temperament, it's just been mellow and really nice. But with Peter, we are just having to unlearn everything because hitting his milestones.
I say Peter is not nice.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice.
And it's also gender differences because boys tend to be more, rambunctious and
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So for us, it's like two different like polarities, north and south. But yeah, I mean, I won't have it any other way. It's been wonderful, and just watching Peter as well grow, watching the dynamics between the two of them. So yeah, for me,
yes, different. Definitely. There's a different approach that we take even now to Olivia than to Peter. Because Olivia, like Kenny said, I mean, when Olivia was, Peter is 1 now, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
When Olivia was that age, we were on first name basis with nurses in hospital because we were, like, they literally knew us. Like, when we get there, oh, hello, where is Olivia? It was that bad because we're always in and out of hospital. So I think that kind of affected how we parented her as well. She had more needs. She needed more from us, so we gave her more. But now we're now 5 years down the line. We have Mr. Peter. My goodness. I mean, he's the sweetest little boy, but his temperament is completely, like, he's like he's at the other end of the spectrum. He wants to do stuff, but he also wants you at the same time, like, I can do this, but then I still want you anyway. His milestones, we now see that he's reaching his milestones so quickly, and we immediately compare to Olivia, and we think, oh my God, it took Olivia 2 years to do that. You're not even 1, and you're already doing so much for yourself. You're already asserting yourself. And so, yeah, definitely it requires a different type of parenting. But what's even more interesting is I absolutely love the interaction between the two of them.
Okay, good. I was going to ask about the big sister card that Olivia has. How she's that privilege?
Yeah, initially when we gave birth to Peter and came, she just ignored him. You know, that just kind of made me worried. And I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to do now? Like, she literally acts like it does not exist.
Sounds like a puppy, like bringing in a new puppy, and then the old puppy is like, no, I'm not gonna play with it. I'm not gonna look at it.
It's almost as if she's saying to us, you know, when you're done, you can take this one back to wherever.
Turn it back to where it came from.
And I was a bit worried about that because I thought, oh, are they not going to, you know, blend together? Are they not going to bond? But as time has gone on, it's so different now, because now as soon as it comes into the room, you can see her light up immediately. Like, okay, he recognizes that this is my person.
Yeah. Sympathy cries.
Yeah, when he's crying, she immediately starts crying, and I don't know what that's a bit annoying, because I'm thinking I can't deal with two cries.
So at the same time, yeah.
If he sees that she's upset, you can see that he starts getting emotional as well. Like, I remember there was a day I was braiding Olivia's hair, and she doesn't like that because it's a sensory issue for her touching her hair. But then we've got to do it, right? And I was braiding her hair, and Olivia was really unhappy about it. And Peter started crying, and the next thing I knew, he's crawled over to me and he's trying to put himself in between us.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not hurting her. So now we kind of make a conscious effort that when I want to do Olivia's hair, we take him to another room, we take him upstairs, so that he doesn't, you know, start getting upset.
Act like a referee between you guys.
Yeah, because he thinks you're doing something to have some reason. So, you know, the dynamics are different. We kind of do things a little bit differently. For him, we allow him to do stuff. With Olivia, I think even till now, we are still a bit more protective of her. Yeah. That's because that's what she needs. When she's trying to get to a toy, we want to help, we want to do this. But with Peter, we kind of wait and see if he's going to do it. And then if he gets frustrated, he will cry, then we'll step in and help him back. Yeah, so he does take a different approaches. We can't do it, you know, in the same way that we've done with Peter. Yeah.
Do you have any worries though? Because this might not be applicable, but let's just explore that. So there's also trauma one, and there's the second part will be, but let's start with the second part first. And that's like, you know, sibling dynamics. So like the fear that, you know, Peter might grow up and be like, oh, well, my sister got so much attention and I didn't get attention. Do you worry about things like that?
Not really. I don't. I think now Peter recognizes, even though he's going to be one next week, in a way, we kind of sense that he recognizes that she's different. So I don't think that he's going to think, oh, she got more attention. I think he would recognize that she's different, especially once this pandemic is over and it starts nursery or something. Yeah. He would see the difference, because now we haven't really interacted with more children because we've all been
COVID. Yeah. What
I think interact with other children, it would become even more aware of the fact that his sister is different, and he would understand why we have to make those allowances. I would hope anyway.
And also, it's just the case that we'll just have to bear that in mind as they grow up, because as they get to different stages in their life, they'll need different sets of attention, and it's just about communicating that to them to understand, so that they don't have that feeling that, oh, one person is getting more attention. We just need to first escalate them that we love them equally, and then just let them know the intricacies in terms of how one person will require more effort than the other person. So I think that'll be the strategy going forward.
Thank you for that. Now I want to talk about the trauma part. And like I said, guys, we're going to round up. So if you have any burning questions, please, you can raise your hand. I will let you ask the questions, or you can type them. So on a personal note, and I've shared this on the podcast as well, you know, I've had pregnancy losses, and it's the first time it happened, you know, you kind of beat yourself. And then the second time you get pregnant, you're like, every day you're like, you know, just checking, like, am I spotting? And so there's a lot of anxiety with that. I mean, the first one was kind of blissful because, you know, that was just the first time. But the second time I got pregnant, it was just like every step of the way, I was just anxious. I would wake up, you know, check my surroundings, check myself. And probably that added to the whole, you know, I don't know, maybe miscarriage and all that. So, and I know that with Olivia, you had what you call an uneventful pregnancy. Like nothing was different. In fact, I think Mr. Kenny talked about his coworker whose wife was, always having like, morning sickness. Tutu just, she was just like, good. And then, Olivia came out and they said they couldn't even detect it during the pregnancy. What was it like with Peter? Like, were there any anxieties? Like, would you say you had a little bit of trauma and all of that kind of stuff? Just wondering, okay, this seems normal, but then is it gonna be the same as well?
Yeah, in a way, yes. So again, when I was pregnant with Peter, I was more tired. But I don't know, maybe that was because I was older. That was 4 years later. But it did cross my mind, if I'm going to be honest, to say, oh my God, is this going to be? But then I then thought about it. We thought about it, and we thought with Olivia, there was nothing that happened during the pregnancy that we could ascribe to, a current condition. So in a way, it's like, are we going down the same route again? You have to, when you start your antenatal, you have to declare whether there's any condition in the family and all that. I made them aware about Olivia's condition straight away, and they then offered me, tests. Say, well, do you not want to know about this child?
You want to do it? Those things can be quite invasive, though. Did you do it?
Yeah. So there are two tests. You could have the blood test,
or
may or may not pick up the condition, and then there's an invasive one that they would do.
Is it the amniotic fluid, or what did they take out?
For 20 weeks.
Okay.
So kind of draw some of the fluids around the baby, and then they would take it to a lab and blah, blah, blah. That was really difficult because part of the outcome of that also, the side effect could be that you could miscarry.
Yeah.
So, and then I thought about it, do we really want to know that badly that, we could potentially.
That's funny back to the sender, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you can return Amazon shipping overnight and get a new one. Like, oh, sorry, that's a very horrible joke. But yeah.
At some point where I was like, oh, I would really like to know. And then on some days I want to know. On some days I don't want to know. But then they really pushed it, at the hospital. And, we just had to have a think about it. And we just decided that, okay, if we know, what are we going to do? What are we going to do if we know? Like, I'm not going to have an abortion, right? So even if I know now, and then well, at least you can prepare. And I said, look, there's nothing I can prepare you for this life. There's nothing I can prepare you. So I'm not going to not have a child because I believe that life is sacred. And I'm not going to, so really, it's not really going to make we still love the child. I mean, our life might be more challenging, but we're just going to go along with it. So yeah, that trauma is really real. It does make you worry. Yeah, but we decided against it, and we just said we'll just go with the flow and see what happens. And ultimately, if it happens, God already knew that it was going to happen, and He'll sort us out somehow. Looking back on it now, I think it was a very brave decision.
Yeah. And I can imagine that those tests can be expensive. Mr. Ken, I want to hear your perspective, but I want to finish up by asking Tutu this. If knowing what you know now, and what would you do differently as far as managing your expectations and anxieties and all that? And I'm asking that for those that might be listening, that might, maybe be pregnant or going through something where there's anxiety involved or trauma from past experiences.
What would I do differently? I think I would have worried less. There was a period of time, I knew that in the end, everything was going to be okay-ish like it is now. I'm not saying that we're out of the woods yet. There's some days where things can get really difficult and a bit more challenging and blah, blah, blah. But I went through a period where I didn't really want to take Olivia anywhere with me. And I remember Kenny although he wasn't very pleased about that, because I just didn't want to go in, because then she had a feeding tube up her nose then. And it was just too much stress to, people pointing. Somebody even asked me one day and said, oh, did your child have an accident?
Well, you're about to have one. How about that?
You're about to have an accident. You know, and I just thought, I'm not going to say. So there was a few months I didn't go to church. I was only doing online church. I didn't physically go to church. I just couldn't deal with it because this is not the child that I mean, Olivia is beautiful. She's lovely, but this is not the child that I wanted, if I'm going to be honest. So there's a bit of anger, there's a bit of anxiety, and then we had all these bags to carry as well. And I'm thinking, I can't be bothered with all of this. I'm my nice handbag and go out, but then I've got to carry a feeding tube, I've got to carry this, and I've got to carry that, I've got to carry this milk syringes. I can't bother. So I stayed home for a while because of that. But in the end, thankfully, we're able to get over that bridge, and we just went along with it. So if I had an idea of where I would be and where I am now, I think I would probably not have done that. And just, you know, trust that somehow things are going to work out and just give you my best. I mean, I wouldn't say I regret doing that. It was just a natural response.
Yes.
That's how I did that time. But yeah, I think for me that would be what it is. Just whatever it is that we have. I mean, one thing I keep saying, and I think it's like more like a guiding mantra for me now, is that God already knew that this was going to happen.
Yes.
So he's not surprised. I'm the one that's clueless about the situation. So he will find a way. He will bring people and maybe be more trusting that God would really do what he said he would do.
Yes.
Because now I find when we are stuck, and like sometimes I literally am praying prayer point like, God, send me somebody that can tell me more about this or show me more about that. And somehow you bring somebody that will probably breathe into our life and just kind of guide us through that process. So I think that's what I would have done differently.
Thank you for that. I think Romans 8:28 captures it, like all things work together. All things work together for good. Yeah. Now, Mr. Kenny, please, your perspective, especially around the pregnancy, after the pregnancy, and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for pregnancy, I had the same fears as well. What would the outcome of this be? But just knowing what I knew about the condition it just happened. It happens 1 in 5,000.
Very special.
Yeah, exactly. The odds of having it again would have, I mean, if it happened again, I'd have just been playing the lottery and know that I'll definitely win.
Exactly, which are kind of luck.
I just had that conviction that everything will be all right. And like you said, we had the options to do some testing to be able to know upfront, but just decided I wasn't worth just adding the additional stress to a process that is stressful as it were. So we just trusted, went with it. And then in terms of like what I'd have done differently, like you said, it would have been to worry less. But we are human, we'll react to things this way as well. So, I mean, it's all a learning process. It's about just opening up, reaching out to people. I mean, joining the group has been really useful. Just having to learn from other people, their perspective, how they've been able to go through different challenges. Because some of the things we worry about, the solutions are just the simplest solutions that are able to solve those problems. So I would say reach out to people. I know it exposes your vulnerability because you just make yourself vulnerable to people, but you'll be better off for it because that way you're able to just release that stress and have somebody that can help out with you. And also, like you said, God already knows. There's been catalog of experiences that has just shown that God has been with us through this journey. One of which is when we had to move. So we had to move from London to the suburbs, get a bigger place because the family was growing. So we checked a few places, and the place we eventually moved to has been so good in terms of like access to facilities, and then the school she goes to is just close by. She was able to get a space immediately and things like that. So it just shows that God already has a plan and will order your steps accordingly to just make things easier along the way. So just trusting God as well is also one key thing as well too.
Wow, I mean that you said it beautifully, because some of the things we worry about, some things that God just does for us that seems seamless, if we're to know everything He protects us from, everything He provides for us, like every detail of it, you realize that you have no control over anything, you know. And I think for me, and I probably you relate to that as well, like whatever I'm going through in life, I always pitched against the sovereignty of God. Like God is always sovereign, like He's over everything, He's oversees everything, and nothing, not no hair out of my hair falls out without Him knowing. And how much more this big thing that I think has, you know, encapsulated my life. And I got out of that situation, I realized that God did it, you know. At that moment it was the biggest thing ever that I felt like there was no hope. And then, you know, I just laid down a little bit, maybe prayed about it, maybe talked to somebody about it, or maybe went to therapy about it. But God always has a way of just meeting our needs. It might not be how we want it to be done, but He always shows up. And thank you for emphasizing that the vulnerability to be able to talk to other people, finding community, and just knowing that, you know, life can be quite beautiful. It's all about our perspective. And gratitude, I believe, is still one of the ways to be able to, you know, live life to the fullest. There's always something you can be thankful for. I don't know whatever you're going through. There's always something. And when you practice gratitude, it opens up a new level of consciousness within you where you're able to see yourself in a different, almost like you're ascending. And to me, that's just, you know, what I always do. Gratitude, gratitude. When I find myself feeling depressed, which, you know, I have a little bit of bout of that here and there every time, I just realize that when last I even thank God for this and that. And that just, I go into the spirit of thanksgiving, and that, you know, lifts my spirit up. So just a reminder to those that are listening. I'm done with my questions. I don't know if you guys had it. Oh, I had one final question. What did Olivia do recently that kind of made you guys laugh and, you know, kind of like almost like rewards, like, oh, well, you know, that got you excited? Every day with her is exciting. I know that to be true. But like, what was that one? Like that just oh my gosh, we have a very perfect child right here. You know, what was that thing?
Yeah, she's coming to her own, and it helps that she has Peter as well, where it's getting wiser, it's getting stronger. So there's this banter there between the two of them. And in the early days, when Peter was getting a bit more assertive, he would grab the toys from her, she would just leave it to him.
Soft toys, right? You know, she likes soft toys, yeah.
She stood around, and I was happy about that. So yeah, that was quite interesting to watch. Just the two of them playing, and he was trying to grab one of her toys, and she was really assertive, and yeah, it was good to see that she's coming to her own, and
yeah. I think for me, I think Olivia is beginning to develop a sense of humor that I did not know that she had before, and for me, that's so good. I love it. I like having a laugh, right? And I can't remember what happened. I think it was Beat has done something. And I started laughing. I thought he was trying to get up, and I tried to stop him from climbing, you know, the couch. And he kept trying, and then he did it one more, and then he fell to the ground. And Olivia started laughing, and I thought, oh, this is so cool. We can actually share a laugh. I love it. And I was like this because my child just fell. I should. But because she looked at it and she was laughing because she saw that I was trying to stop him from doing what he was doing. Yeah. And I tried time, and he still insisted. And then he tried it one last time, and then he fell to the ground. And she just oh, this is so cool. I love it. I saw the funny part though, but
I'm so glad you guys have each other, because this is parenting right here. It's, you know, vulnerability, it's being able to depend on another person. And I cannot even imagine having to do it alone. Maybe in the case of those that have, like, you know, maybe it's a single parent for one reason or the other. But I'm glad that you guys have each other to be able to depend on, and this is really good. And thanks a lot for teaching me and everybody here and everyone else that might get to listen to this. Just the struggles are gonna be struggles, but the opportunity to grow, and knowing that you can't do it alone. So the importance of community, families, and otherwise, of vulnerability, of just, you know, never giving up, of, you know, having faith and just powering through. And I really thank you. It's been a wonderful Saturday just talking to you guys. And I apologize profusely once more for the technical challenges that we encountered. But you guys mean a lot on the granular level to the show. I really, really love, and, you know, I'm honored that you guys, you know, the attention I've gotten from you. I know, in our comment sections, even in the DMs, in the private messages, Mr. Kenny, especially. So thank you so much. It means a lot to me to call you as one of my number one, because my mom and T-Dog, and, you know, but I'll call you one of my top 10 supporters, because you guys have, you've been, I mean, you're the first person that reached out to me, because I disturbed my family members a lot. They were my first podcast listeners, but there's only so much attention they can give you as family members. But you reached out to me from, I didn't know you from anywhere, and then you reached out of the shadows. And I always go to that moment because that gave me the impetus to really go on. Because at first I thought I was just sticking to a vacuum, but you reached out of the shadows and told me about Olivia, even bringing me into making me be a part of your family in a way. I mean, that's really, really meaningful. And God bless you guys. And just want to say thank you so much.
Just to say thank you to Mo, because what you have done, what you've created with your podcast is not just a podcast. It's not just something to do on social media. It's value. It has so much value to people, certainly for us, and I'm sure that a lot of people that listen to you as well, and they find it to be uplifting. I leave your podcast with some new ideas and thoughts, and I've not actually considered that perspective before. So be rest assured that you're not just rambling away. That's not what it is at all. You create so much value. You're creating a community of people, and that's quite important, especially in the times that we're in now. It's just as if you have that community and you're so consistent. And I know it can't be easy for you to do it because I'm sure you've got other things. I mean, you're a professor, for goodness sake. So you've probably got 1,001 things that you could be doing with your time. But then you've taken time out, from doing, your stuff to doing this and creating this community. And your reach is so wide. I see people commenting from different parts of the world. And it's so impressive and it's very heartwarming that you're not just thinking about yourself, which you're entitled to do, that would be perfectly okay. But you're also thinking about other people. You're creating a community. And I really thank you for the work that you're doing. And I just pray that it just gets better and better for you. And for Tito too. Tito.
I mean, for me, it's also about
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Consistency is also something to be applauded. I mean, year after year. I mean, the initial conversation was in 2018, and 2 years down the line, we're still going.
I thought it was last year. I actually thought it was last year, but it's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years. So that consistency, helping people tell their story, reaching out to different cultures, getting people to just open up and share their story, I think it's really nice because that's valuable content.
And it's good quality. Yeah. It's good quality as well. So it's not just, you can tell that Mo puts a lot of thought into it. So for me, that's really good. I'm not really too much of a TV person, but for this, I can do this, and I don't feel like it's flimsy. Everything seems so well thought out. So well done to you.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I could just keep on thanking you guys, but thanks for that. And so for those that are listening, I hope you've been able to at least get some courage to live your life to the fullest. Whatever it is you're shameful about. And I think I've explored a lot about shame on the show. Remember that what happens to us sometimes or what we go through is not really about us. It's how we can be trusting enough to give it back to God and say, okay, what do you want me to do with this? What do you want me to do with this? It's so overwhelming. I mean, there's no way I can get out of it. And I've given that example of, battling infertility, losing pregnancies, getting difficulty in conceiving. And I feel a little bit of shame about it, but initially it was overwhelming amount of shame that I couldn't even talk to anybody about. And when God told me to start talking about my stories and sharing it publicly, I was like, no way, I don't even have kids yet. Usually you come back and give testimony, right? How can I talk to people? How can I open be that bold? I was like, no, I want you to share your story. And you have no idea, just the conversations that have come out of that. And so I want to encourage you that are listening here. Shame is not something that you should make your bedfellow. The devil is going to make you want to throw parties and, be sad about yourself. But what exactly are you ashamed of? God has chosen you to go through that. You think he doesn't know what you're going through? Give it back to him. Ask him, hey, what do you want me to do with this? Like, how can I need help with this particular area, and see how it's going to come through. And I hope, you've been encouraged hearing, the Popoolas just talking about their children and all they've, experience. I can assure you that their lives have been so enriched by having Olivia. Like, if I even were to ask them, like, hey, imagine your life without Olivia, it's going to be like, how, right? How can we imagine?
Yeah, it's difficult to think because there's so many people that we know now, so many associations that we've made that we ordinarily wouldn't have, but then they are so enriching as well. And I know I joke about this with my friends. I say that because I'm Olivia's mom, I'm probably going to make heaven, just by, but the sheer fact that the amount of times I have to pray, about her, about how we interact. So she's not just somebody that's just there. We have to take her to God constantly. And because of that, I feel like my relationship with God is even better, because I know I'm going to speak to him about something relating to her very soon. So I need to act right? I need to act right. So I say to my friends, I know this is like a joke. I'm like, because I'm Olivia's mother, I'm going to heaven. The rest of you need to go and work out your own salvation. But me, I'm good. So we met people. We met people, we met, families that are now like friends that are now like families, people that we interact with now, online, offline. Some of these people we've never met. And the relationship is so enriching for us that I don't even think that, and it kind of changes our perspective on everything. And now we do everything. So I don't even know what life would have been like if she wasn't, our daughter.
Lots of experiences as well. We've not been to hospital. I don't get sick a lot, but being to the hospital, learning from professionals as well. Also, being able to appreciate like the medical services. So, yeah, people talk about the key workers. We have a first-time experience on how to appreciate key workers. So, be it the doctors, teachers, nurses, different people that we appreciate their value. Other people will just see them as, it's just a doctor, but we appreciate them as
For us, it's the doctor.
Wow. Well, there you go, guys. And this is the More Sibyl podcast. I do weekly shows. On Thursdays, release new episodes. And on Saturdays, I try to make it a bit more intimate by bringing people on the show, live people on this, to do like a live show. If you love this content, don't forget to subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get the podcast on. I also included the website, www.moresybyl.com. And if there's any way I can help you, you that are listening, you need someone to talk to about something, or you're afraid that, I don't know how she's going to judge me. My life is an open book. Most of my life is an open book. And, I talked about pregnancy. I don't have a child yet. And so that's still hanging over my head. But I found beauty in everything. I found purpose in my pain. And I want to help you, even if... Thank you, baby. So we have a foster child, by the way, and she's just a handful. I love her so much. Even if I don't get to be part of that community, but I want to help you set your story free. So let me know how I can help you. Check out the podcast as well, and thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much, DK Jonah, for following us all the way. Unlike Jonah in the Bible, you've been consistent. Thank you so much. I just wanted to make that joke. Thank you. And you had a comment from the Mr. Daramula. He said to let you know that he commends your strength. As parents, God bless you guys, and I'll catch you guys in another episode of the show. Love you. Kisses to Peter and Olivia, and please pull Peter's cheeks from me because they're so cute. I want to pull cheeks. All right, love you guys, and thank you so much. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.